up, everybody?
Evening.
How's it going? Hey, Rob.
What's up?
Nothing much. We have a bunch to go over. I have some stories to tell and some records to show, so I'm excited for that. Have you guys had any pickups recently?
Got
Today.
just a couple.
Every day.
Well, Rob, if there's no news is there any news out there? Any new reissues or new releases or anything?
Not jazz related. There's other things, I think.
What else
Maybe if Notes and Tones comes on later.
Actually, this morning,
Downbeat.
Rhino Hi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
They only announced one thing. It's Fleetwood Mac. I think it's the first one with Lindsey Buckingham and what's her face. But it's a different thing. It comes in a couple different flavors. Okay. So
what do we have here?
So you have the standard. This was the first. They were a blues band, but when Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks joined, they became like a pop rock band. So this was their first big giant hit record, and So this other thing is they're also coming out with a 45.
Okay, what is that?
Which I think are different cuts of the songs. And I think it's 245.
That's cool.
I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
So that's the first time that they decided there's a 7-inch. So I don't even know if it's a 45.
Yeah. So I'm sure it's going to sell very well. I mean, yeah.
But look at the price jack up. It's $30 more to get the 45.
Yeah.
What? $40 more. Wait, $30 more.
Yeah.
Some crazy.
That seems like a lot.
Hey, what's going on here in the corner?
What's going on? Oh, that's the chat. I could shut that off if you like.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can leave it off.
It sort of just looks like a ghost.
Okay. All right.
So that was the announcement. Basically,
Okay.
You know what I did listen to? I listened to the Mark Moran interview of Chad.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to think of Chad as a three-dimensional person, listen to that interview.
Okay.
Because he spends a lot of it talking about his recovering from being a drug and alcohol person.
The best quote in that interview was when they were talking about a certain record, and Chad said, "I'll send you a copy in a diaper."
Yeah.
Because you're going to shit your pants when you hear it compared to the other.
I mean, Chad was very liberal with his colorful language. I will say that.
That was such a fantastic statement.
But caught on audio, I think Hughes notoriously doesn't send out promos. We'll hook you up with those records for Mark Moran.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So what's the connection there? Mark Moran is a record collector?
Yeah. So he's a big vinyl dude.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely go check that out.
It was Teddy sent me that interview. It was really good.
Yeah.
Because he's back working for Chad now a little bit.
How long is it? Is it like hour and a half?
Well, if you listen to Mark Moran, he just chats for like 15 or 20 minutes, and then they go into the interview. He just talks himself.
Right.
So it's about an hour and 20 minutes, I think. Or I could be wrong. Something like that.
Cool.
Some good childhood stories from Chad, too. Like hitchhiking to, what was it, Zeppelin? Something like that.
Mark Moran.
Mark Maron.
All right, Andrus.
All right. So I have a stack of records to show here, but I want to ask Rob, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. Is Chris Jones around? Chris Jones, if you're in the chat, comment, because I'll wait till the show. So I picked up. I went to Atomic. That's the one store that gets a shitload of CDs, and I know just because Amoeba's bigger, they have a lot of CDs. But I think Atomic, people just bring in CDs all the time. So there, a bunch of jazz CDs came in. So I picked up this trio 3. It's Andrew Sorrell, Reggie Workman, and Oliver Lake.
Hell
Yeah, that's
yes.
good.
Yeah.
What label is
don't
that
know.
on?
It's a label from Switzerland.
Okay.
So it's Visiting Texture. No, it's the
Cool.
title. And no, it's not the name. It's this.
Intact.
Oh, Intact Records.
Yeah.
I've seen them before.
Okay. Another one is
Oliver Lake, Reggie Workman, Andrew
it's the same
Sorrell.
trio 3.
Okay, cool.
And then another one with them is this one.
BJ Iyer,
Wow.
Oliver Lake, Reggie Workman. That's very cool.
All right. This I have the vinyl.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
never seen the CD.
Yeah, there's a Fender Rhodes on that. That's pretty nice.
And this is a cool one. Sam
Okay.
Rivers.
Cool.
Yeah. Great.
And Anthony
Stack of
Cole and Doug Matthews. I don't know this label.
That
Arby.
is Sam Rivers' label, I think.
It is?
Rivsy. Yeah, I'm pretty
Cool.
sure.
So this came out in Orlando, Florida's words. I don't know when it doesn't have the date on it, but it's more recent. I already have this CD, but I picked up another one because it's just a killer lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Allen, Al Foster, Jerry Hemingway, Julian Prester, and Sam Rivers. Reggie Workman album. So I have 2 copies of this now. All right. I did pick up. I have another record I just cleaned and listened to. This is going to go in the auction tomorrow. This is a fucking kick-ass record.
Wolf label?
Huh? What?
Wolf label?
Yes, Wolf. Jimmy Owens, Brian Brake, Billy Hart, Sonny Fortune, Buster Williams, and Ben Riley. This is really good. Okay. Records I found today. This is the kick-ass. This is kick-ass. The Strata Seekers, George Russell Septet, kick-ass cover on Riverside, mono, and here's the lineup. You get Don Ellis, Dave Baker, John Pierce, Paul Plummer, George Russell, Steve Swallow, and Joe Hunt. And it's nice blue label Riverside.
Oh, can you go back? What are the standards he's doing? So at the last song of each was different. What is it? They're doing. Wait, I can't see the name. Move it.
Pan Daddy.
Yeah, I
The
can't see
Strata
the name.
Speakers. Keegs tune.
I want to see who composed it. I can't see their name.
George Russell.
Okay. All right.
All right. I already had part 1 of this, and I found, oh look, some cock ass. Goodbye. Dox me later. Why don't you use your real name, you fuckhead? There you go. Jackie Byard. I have the second one now. This is a good live session. I didn't realize Alan Dawson plays vibes in the drummer. He plays vibes on this. This I picked up yesterday.
Oh, that's good.
Freak Beat is having their semi-annual 20% off sale, so I picked this up. And this is really kick-ass.
Yeah, that is good.
I picked this up today. Didn't know this record. It's Art Pepper live in Tokyo. And it's this like standard lineup he toured with like his last years. Here's a Dave record.
Oh shit. Yeah, I don't see that one very often.
No, 1995. It's just him solo playing. Pretty jazzy. Avant-garde. This is a cool one. On Steeplechase.
Oh, that is cool.
Here's the lineup.
Okay. I know Jimmy Nepper, Billy Hart, Buster Williams
on bass.
Okay, cool. What songs are they doing?
George Russell songs. No, I'm joking.
What do we got?
They're doing side 1. Jimmy Nepper seemed to have written a lot of songs on here.
Okay. All right.
This was without a cover. I think this is reissued. It's Fair Sanders on what was the last label that what's his face from Verve had? Dr. Jazz.
Oh,
Oh, Creed Taylor?
Yeah, this was his last label.
Okay.
So Fair Sanders did a record on that label.
Okay.
This is cool. The Kenny Burrell generation ago today. Yellow label promo.
nice.
Yeah. And this is two different lineups. Not the trashy orchestrated Verve stuff, but you got Ron Carter, Grady Tate, and Phil Woods, and then they do one song with that. I have an album of Mike Materati on Vibes, and then there's Richard Wayne's. So I've seen this album, but I've never found a clean copy, and I found a clean promo. That was cool.
That's cool.
I'm sure I was hoping Chris would be here because I found this record. Dave, do you know this one?
No, I don't.
It's from 1998. This dude was part of the Pharaohs.
Oh, okay.
So on this, it's a double album, and it's people that were in the Pharaohs also. And I just saw it. I blind buy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it. I didn't listen to any of it. I just grabbed it.
I never seen that release. That's cool.
Yeah, it's on the. I think I have Ubiquity Jazz. I think I have some CDs on Ubiquity Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be good.
And I found this at a good price. I was happy. I found this today for $50.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm very anxious to listen to this.
So that's
what were they selling for on RSD? 80?
Yeah, it came out listed at 80, and right now I think the cheapest is $65-$75.
Okay.
All right. And then here, I did not buy this. I was given it to see if I could flatten it. But this is an OG copy of Catalyst on Cobblestone. So
can you show everybody the warp?
Okay,
it's
if
pretty
I can
gnarly.
Flatten this, I'm sure if I can flatten this, hold on, it will be pretty good. It's better if it's upside down.
So what method are you going to use to flatten it?
I'm going to put it in my oven, 250 degrees. A little cinnamon and sugar, and a few eggs.
How are you going to do it?
Oh,
I'm going to put it in the $2,500 German flattener I have, which is really belongs to the Record Collector News. I mean, it's a pretty decent warp, but it looks like I can. My rate that I've there. I think you see it now. There.
Yeah.
So I think I can flatten it. I think this might turn into the place I took it to. I'm going to ask if I could buy it, but I'm afraid they'll put it on the wall. Like I saw a mint copy on Discogs went for over 300. Is it 400?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I have that sketchy reissue of this. So Scorpio. I think I have a Scorpio reissue. So
cool. Well,
yeah.
So
let us know what he ends up putting on that. I'd be curious.
So Rob, what will you disclose what record stores you went to, where you got those all from?
I either when I go out shopping, I go either towards the valley and I hit Safari, Atomic, and I go to Amoeba. Sometimes I go to Freakbeat. I went to Freakbeat yesterday because they had that sale. And then if I go South Bay, I go to just a bunch of stores that are in the South Bay. So,
Where's
Sibylline? Sibylline's in Pasadena. They just got in a killer jazz collection, but a lot of the records I have, and for me to get over there and beat people to try and get a record they show is hard.
Yeah.
So, because they post it, I mean, I could go there when they open, but then I don't know what they're posting. You know what I mean? So,
and you said Greg's new shop's way out, right?
It's a good drive for me. It's not convenient. it's about convenience. I don't go to, if I see a store that posts something, I don't automatically think that's what I'm going to get. And so I hit up other stores and thrift stores. I went to a thrift store today, found nothing. So I make it sure that I can come home with some records, you know?
Question from Disco Devil. What's up with the lack of milestone reissues? Is it a rights issue or Master Tapes long gone? I think neither. I think Kraft has, or who is it? Who owns Kraft? Concord.
Concord.
They own the milestone tapes. They could put them out if they want.
I
They
think
just
they've
don't.
been
Yeah, they
putting
put out
out,
Power to the People, right?
right?
Yeah, they put out.
I mean, realistically, I don't know what I don't think Kraft is a major label, are they?
They're the reissue. They're the reissue label.
You know, or Concord. Or I think their library's huge.
Yeah,
But you got to think about it. I don't know what they're designed to put out. How many new titles do they put out a month through everything they own?
I don't know.
So to single out Milestone, I mean, they've been putting out in the last 2 years, they put out a couple Joe Henderson records, right?
Yeah, the Gary Bartz I think has been reissued too.
Also, Vinyl Me Please put out a bunch of Milestone.
Yeah,
stuff.
but there hasn't been that much. There's plenty on it for them to do. There's Sonny Rollins, McCoy Tyner. Those two artists alone have a ton of records.
Speaking of that, Gary Bartz, I did find this one, a mint
Muse.
copy at Repo for $14.
Yeah,
And this goes for some dough, as Rob would say.
yeah.
But this is going to Dom because I already had a copy. So this is Dom's copy that'll be going out.
Muse. So
I can't say what I've heard, Disco Devil.
Yeah, there are a couple parties interested in reissuing Muse, so I wouldn't be surprised if it gets reissued.
I can honestly tell you, I do know Muse catalog was bought, I don't know how many years ago, by Savoy. And then Savoy was acquired by Universal. So you technically, I believe that Universal owns the right to the Muse catalog. But
Savoy
I don't.
Muse? Are you sure about that?
That's, if you go look on the internet, Savoy owned Muse. I don't know how long ago Savoy was owned by Universal. I'm pretty sure.
The Muse chain is that, I don't know what the years are, but there was Cobblestone and Muse absorbed Cobblestone.
Right.
And both Cobblestone and Muse reissued titles on really small independent labels that needed reissues at the time because they were super rare. Like there's a Kenny Dorham. There's a number of them.
Well, they also did the U.S. Rights for your favorite Dutch, is it Dutch? Timeless. They they issued the Timeless records here.
There's a lot of Blakey on that label.
Right, but the Timeless have been reissuing the records through Music on Vinyl. So
Music on Vinyl and Pure Pleasure, I think.
But right now, I heard something, Disco Devil, I can't talk about. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. So, we got Joe. All right. Rounding out the quartet. How's it going?
Hey guys.
So I was thinking about this earlier. My favorite groupings now are trios, and they're either piano trios or like sax-led trios that are piano-less. I think there's just a simplicity in a trio that for me, it's really fun to listen to. And then I do like quartets and I do like duos. And then I think when you get to a quintet, it kind of gets busy. I was just thinking about this recently. But to have like a two-horn quartet as opposed to a quartet, so like a featured horn with a trio, I just feel like the trio and quartet are my favorites. And then I like duo. Then I probably like solo, and then I like quintet, and then it goes up from there. Any thoughts on that?
Depends on what I'm listening to.
Yeah.
All of them can work or not work. Really,
that's true.
Right. I mean, there's like those killer 1500 blue notes where it's like the blowing sessions, and you've got like multiple horns, and it works really well. But right, there's a lot of records that I've definitely passed on because I look and maybe there's a few guys that are great, but there's also like 15 other people on the record, and it's just sometimes
It's too little, too much.
Yeah, it just becomes too, and especially I don't know if Dave, you were alluding to like free jazz stuff, but sometimes when the band gets too big, it just becomes a mess for me. It loses it loses
Yeah,
a
it
little
loses
bit of it.
a little. The word continuity is not a good word to use with free jazz, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's got to be some semblance of order in some regard.
But it can be done well. Like I'm just thinking now of like the no nets for like the Birth of the Cool and some of those, and those are really they're there's I don't know, like they're still like all getting a chance to solo, and they all play at the head. But to me, it seems like that kind of style that they play on that, even though it's a no net, it feels minimalist still. You know,
Mhm.
because
The
they
only
don't give
large
it.
groups
Yeah.
that have worked for me is the orchestra. I mean,
Oh, there you go.
they mastered the large group.
You got Sunra right here. Disco Devil.
Yeah.
I found some raw solo piano record too.
Oh,
I
cool.
showed it on my stream. Yeah.
Improvising artists or which one?
Yeah. There's 3. So I think I have all 3 now.
Nice.
I think it's over here. Let me see.
Yeah, I generally buy kind of smaller group stuff, but not only. I mean, actually, I'll show this in a second. But I picked up this saxophone special, and
Yeah,
that
I have that.
that has 5 sax players on it. So that stuff's kind of cool. But yeah. So I guess I'm all over the place. I just really love the piano trio, and I would extend that to like a tenor trio, like Sonny Rollins trio, like those types of formats of kind of the older style. I really love.
Well, there's even like the introduction to jazz for me was Green Street, Grant Green, and that was a guitar trio. And that didn't really happen. He didn't have a whole lot that was like that, but
Yeah,
a lot of times he ended up just adding in an organ. But even then, sometimes it was still a trio. And that was common, I think, with Jimmy Smith too on a lot of his stuff going into the 60s. It'd be organ, guitar, and then drums.
Yeah, he usually tried to have a guitarist in the mix.
Yeah.
Right over here, I have that clarinet group with David Murray and John Carter, Jimmy Hamilton, and Alvin Baptiste.
Mm-hmm.
Clarinet Summit.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna do a poll. I'm gonna do a poll in terms of group size. So we'll see what people think. So it's just gonna be your favorite. You can interpret it however you want.
It should just be, the name of it should just be "Is Bigger Always Better." Just see what somebody joins in half an hour in, and
we can only have 4. We can only have 4. So
okay.
I'm gonna couple solo and duo together. Then
That's a good way to do it.
Then I'll do trio. We'll do quartet, and then we'll do quintet or bigger. That's really a flawed poll. But we only have 4 options. Quintet or bigger.
Yeah, there's some killer duo records. I know, Dave, you like the Frank Lowe, Rashid Ali duo.
That's the greatest record ever made.
And same
Duo,
with
Duo Exchange.
The Interstellar Space with Coltrane and
That's
Rashid
not
Ali.
far behind.
Yeah, those are
those
unbelievable. Yeah.
This is a great trio.
Yeah, I still need that record though.
This is so good. They should
shot up in
definitely have
price.
this in print. I was thinking they should have this in print, and they should also have. And I know Verve by Request put it out, but it seems like people ignore those pressings. And I think there would be a market for a real nice AAA reissue of this, as well as the Mingus piano solo album.
Did some of the Verve by Request get pressed at Third Man? I think some
yes.
did.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah, they're like, but are they yellow vinyl or something?
Yeah.
No, they were doing that, but I think they stopped.
Yeah, that's a turn off.
But the ones worth getting are the ones that Ryan K. Smith mastered.
Yeah.
I mean, if it
All right.
sounds good, it sounds good, but you know.
So just some preliminary results. We have 22 votes. So everybody go vote. And when you vote, if you could like the live stream at the same time, that would be appreciated. But we have a quartet is winning. 50% of the vote is in. Quartet is winning. Quintet. Oh, actually, trio is in second place.
Hey, look, Fred's around. What happened
Oh.
to you, dude? You disappeared.
He's
Were
been
you
busy.
abducted? Were you abducted by space aliens?
He's been buying records. I see him posting records on the medias.
So yeah. So anyway, we'll check in on the poll. Remember to go vote. Vote early, vote often. So Dave, have you picked up anything recently?
Got a couple of jazz records here. Let's see. I was in Lunchbox and I forget what I was in there to pick up, but I found this in the used. Elvin Jones Merry-Go-Round on Blue Note.
Have it.
Cool.
Good album.
Yeah, it's kind of that same lineup of that record he did on the PM label, on his label, On the Mountain. But it's a division of United Artists, and it's got the original inner bag and all that. So and it was $12.
Yeah, it's an affordable
Yeah.
record.
There's a few Alvin Jones on Blue Note that I've just always either passed by due to condition. This is in nice shape or price. The $12. I was like, hell yeah. And then this I found actually at Repo, which was kind of surprising, and it didn't have a price on it. When I took it at the counter, he gave it to me for $14. It's the Patrick Shiroshi Hidemi record, L.A. free jazz saxophonist.
Cool.
Yeah. The cover art is his father and his grandfather, and I think it's at something to do with this record about the Japanese detention during the war. And so it brings out a lot of intensity in this. It's really good stuff. This was also at Repo, a mint copy of Mary Clayton on Ode Records. This was 24. This goes for a lot more. Of course, she covers Southern Man.
Do you know who her
soul record?
Do you know who her husband was?
No, who was it?
I actually have a record I found that I didn't show. Her husband was a gentleman by the name of Curtis Amy.
Oh, very cool. But yeah, this is an upgrade for me. I found this used in Denver when I was out visiting Carlson, and I'm going to trade that copy tomorrow to Dylan at Noble.
Rob, Curtis Amy, is he a tenor or alto?
I think is he both? I'm trying to find the Curtis Amy record I
think he plays tenor.
He plays on Katanga, right?
Katanga.
That was kind of that was
like the
he had a lot of records on Pacific Jazz.
Yes.
Now I picked up this CD. I'm kind of going in reverse. I didn't have any of this artist, Ariel Calmo, who recently passed. Dom and Alex were praising the music, so I thought I'd check it out. But I ended up getting this double CD because it was cheap. And it's original recordings from 72 to 79. He plays some saxophones, some keyboards, all different kinds of things. But this is like 21 tracks of basically unreleased material on a double CD. So
what's his name? What was his name?
Ariel Calma.
Okay, I've never heard of him.
Really, really good stuff. It was kind of all over the place. But his records are very expensive, so I've just figured I'd start with the CD and dig into that and see how much I like it. So
when you're done, I forgot I have my stack of intro, but to connect with your Mary Clayton, I found this record from it's not dated on Discogs. This is a record introducing Perry Lee Blackwell, who just passed away like a year or two ago at 98. She was a piano player, but switched to organ.
Yeah.
So this is on Combo Records, which really I don't mostly put out singles in LA. It was a very short-lived label. But this is a trio. There's her, and then there's Curtis Amy.
Oh, shit.
So, and this is a kick-ass record. If you ever see this, I don't think people know about this record. So that's why it doesn't go for astronomical money. But it really is. I will say this: it's a Curtis Amy record. It's really him all over it. And,
What year is that, Rob? Is it the 50s?
So it's not exactly dated. I think it's 55 to 57 ish.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow.
But this is a really good record. If you ever see it, pick it
And
up.
what's the label?
Combo.
Combo. Okay.
But if
Yeah.
you go into Discogs, there really isn't a lot of full albums. They put out singles.
Yeah, cool. Does
This-
it?
Yeah,
do
so
you know-
finding that in LA would be the way to go
Well,
because you know it's an
It's
LA
actually
record.
the second time I've seen it. I didn't buy the first time. It wasn't in the best condition, but this thing is like VG++. It's really nice. So
Nice.
That's cool.
But I have more records to show, but go back to Dave. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I've got two here that I spent years looking for. There's a Don Cherry record that I heard OK Tamiz on, the percussionist drummer, years ago, and so I put a few of his other records on the want list of doom, I call it. And I don't pay all that much attention to the Discogs thing. And I'd never seen this record in a shop or anywhere. And Lance at Permanent did a flip video of what he was putting out on Saturday. He wasn't going to put that stuff up on the Instagram for sale, but he was just doing hey, this is the next drop. We're going to have it at the shop. And this record was in there. And knowing Lance and Permanent, they usually have the records in the shop on their Discogs. So I went to the Discogs, and there it was, and I was like, "Oh hell! Hopefully they'll pull it before someone gets up there and grabs it." And they had pulled it, but Lance and Tara were out of town for a family emergency, so I didn't hear back for a while, and I was worried they might have already sold it in the shop. But it's the OK Tamiz Trio Turkish Folk Jazz on the Sonnet label from the UK. It's a stereo.
Oh,
original.
let me see. Can you show the label? I was looking at it.
Movies on that cover.
Yeah. And some pretty cool artwork.
So that's
Sonnet.
75. Okay.
Yeah, 75. The reason they had the copy is thanks to Rick Ballard. So back in the day, he had imported some of these in.
So that explain how that's a rare record, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's only one for sale online. I think that's all I saw, at least on Discogs. I haven't seen it pop up on eBay.
So sorry if I missed this, but who's playing on that? How big's the group and how?
So it's just a trio. So it's the OK Tamiz Trio, Turkish folk jazz. Definitely Turkish leaning, things going on, especially with him with the percussion. But it's Safet Gundager on clarinet, Bjorn Alke on bass, and this was recorded in Sweden in Stockholm.
All right, I don't think we should show that. I don't want the kids
right.
screen taken down.
You ain't gonna get in trouble.
No, I don't think so.
But then this came, and this is kind of a little bit of a story. So there's one of the new folks that sells on. I guess she's been doing it a long time now. Technically, that sells on the Whatnot. I think her name's Amy, or it goes by Esky. And she sold a collection on consignment of Sun Ra records, originals.
Yes, am I right? Some didn't sell, some did sell.
I thought that all but maybe one sold, but then I know she kept going back and starting the bid lower. So like the most expensive one she had was she had a 750 starting bid on it. Like you had to start off at 750 and then go to war. And no one bid, so she revisited that record and started it off at 500, and a bidding war started, and it ended up going for 680. It was the UFO one.
I watched some of it, but what was the most expensive record you saw?
It went for 680. That was the most I seen one sell for.
All out of all the Sun Ra records she was selling.
Yeah, that was the one that went for the most, and it was the most that she had a starting bid on. And but that guy he was selling them on consignment because he's going to move to Spain, and it was a smart thing, and
I
She
think
did
her
well with
next one, she's going to be selling on consignment a bunch of Music Matters records.
Yes, yeah, I saw that. A lot of good titles. But so I watched that, and I didn't have money that week to throw it any bit, especially bidding on a raw.
I've never
Um,
bought a record on Whatnot for
yeah,
the reason that
yeah,
I'm
I
not. I'd be curious. So she's gonna do a whatnot of all music matters.
yes,
yeah,
I'd be
yeah. She
45.
curious.
got like
It looks like
to-
25.
boxes full.
You can go
Okay.
watch her preview or something. Matt Mazzy had said because he knows that's the girl that got him into Whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I watched those, and she had one I'd been looking for probably the longest of any of them, and it went for, I can't remember how much. It was a lot. And so it got the wheels turning. I was like, you know what? I haven't looked for a El Saturn in a long time. So I scoured the eBay and the Discogs to see what El Saturns are out there. And on Discogs, there's so many different pressings, but if there's a way to see what's available. And this record I got popped up. It was on eBay. Different collection, very similar record to one she sold, like almost identical. So it had to be one of, when they did these runs that they sold on these at these gigs, they usually did runs of 50. And they usually had either some of the labels they would paste on or tape on. They always had the custom labels. But later in the 70s, sometimes they ran out of labels and would just write on a blank label. Or on a blank cover, just write little whatever information they could to designate what album it is, and sell them in the back at gigs. And so they get gas to go to the next town. But so this record was on eBay for one price. They also had it listed on Discogs for 150 less starting bid, and you could throw offers at each listing. It's the same record, same seller. So I threw a low ball bid at the Discogs listing because it's a lot cheaper, and they accepted it. So it came, and it's God is More Than Love Can Ever Be, from Sunrise 1979, an OG. It does say trio in the corner. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that.
Yeah.
There, that corner.
Yeah.
Trio.
So there's no artwork on the cover.
No, blank cover, but it's the proper cardstock from the time for sure, and just written on the label. This is exactly like the copy she sold. So I'm guessing it's from the same tour. El Saturn Sun Ra Trio. This is my all-time favorite Sun Ra record.
What year is that from?
79.
And
Yeah.
you paid way below 600 and blah blah.
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah, this didn't even get to 300. So this is a huge, like,
That's
I can
her.
retire from buying Sun Ra records now. Pretty much. That one, just the music for that and the history of that record. Now I got a reissue here, so I can tell you more about this record. This is the recent reissue on Cosmic Myth, and this is really well done. So this is a really good way to get this record.
Oh,
And
that's
yeah.
cheap too on Amazon.
Yeah, this is fantastic. And a lot of times you'll see this sold as titled Days of Happiness. It's the same record. And Days of Happiness normally has the paste on or taped on, on a plain white cover, black and white images of these Egyptian characters. And usually there's like 2 or 3 side by side. But those go for, a grand and up when you find when it's titled Days of Happiness with the artwork. So this was a great way to find this record. Because that's the first cut, and the last cut on the B side is God is More Than Love Can Ever Be. And so that's how they've titled some of the records. It's just the way it's always weird like that with El Saturns.
Cool.
But it's a piano trio, Hayes Burnett's on bass, and a Samurai Celestial on drums. 79. But that's a big one.
So I So this is that Sun Ra video that Eski put out. I dropped a link to her channel if you want to check it out. And then this looks like this is the Music Matters haul.
Yeah.
So if you want to pick up Music Matters, I mean, you might want to check out her whatnot. I don't know what the demand is, so you might be able to get them for a decent price.
I doubt it. She's very popular.
People bid on her stuff, man.
Yeah,
Even if
It's a war.
she goes
she is
above
she's very popular, so I think she draws a lot of people.
All right. Well, if you want to check it out, I dropped a link to her channel.
Hey,
That's cool.
Are you done, Dave?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Wait. Hold on. Rob, you already showed records. I got to regulate this. Joe, did you want to show anything?
I'm telling you, disappointment for everyone.
Well, come on.
You're talking about for me, Rob?
Yeah, you're going to show a $500 record that you drove 8 years to find.
No,
Rob,
Hopefully.
these are actually all. I think it's all. Yeah, this is all online. I haven't found much since we had our baby in June. I haven't really traveled much to find stuff. But
you're sleeping during the day, right?
What'd you say?
You say you're sleeping during the day now.
Yeah, I know, but it's
When does school start for you?
It's not till September, so
nice.
I'm off till September. Yeah. But I found this guy on. I guess I found him on Instagram. He's also on Discogs. I saw stuff as I've gotten more into African records.
Oh yeah.
Which is a pretty tough thing to go down because usually you're paying a lot and a lot of times you're getting garbage condition stuff. But there's this guy on Instagram. He also sells on Discogs music that shapes. He also has a Instagram that's specific about African. It's like living music from Africa or something like that. And they're both really great Instagram kind of accounts to check out. But he lives in Slovakia, so it's kind of tough here, like European stuff. I guess he is a pretty well-known dealer when it comes to African stuff, especially in Europe. Gets a lot of great stuff. He also, I think, over the years has been able to find a lot of duplicates of stuff. So he's upgraded his own copies if he's interested in them, but he's also passed stuff on. He also told me, I mean, I didn't even know, like I hadn't even dealt with him. And I asked him about a record on Discogs, and he said, if you like go directly through me or whatever, I'll take 20 to 30% off the Discogs prices. And for some of it, it was like a pretty big discount for what it was.
Rob, check out these records. This is his Instagram.
Yeah, there's a lot of great ones I'm seeing there.
It's a lot of African
heavy hitters.
stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know any of those.
Yeah, and I don't either. It's and what I've learned from the limited few months or so of collecting stuff is there's African records for every price point, and sometimes there's real big hitters. Like I'm assuming everybody that's on here watching as well, Dylan Noble Records showed Zamrock stuff going back a few years. I know Steve Carlson's another guy that's also done a lot with the Zamrock stuff, but they've done a lot of reissues. I know Egon now again has done some Record Store Day stuff, but he's also, even before Record Store Day, did a lot of reissues. So that's a great way to find a lot of the Zamrock stuff, because that, especially coming out of Africa, is almost always trashed. And unless you're willing to pay like close to 4 figures and even potentially 4 figures for things like the Paul Ngozi stuff or the Ricky Alonga or certain records, it's going to be hefty for the price tag.
I picked up that Record Store Day record they did, which was a solo record from the main Zamrock. It's like a family of people, right?
Well, there was that. Yes,
that one I picked up, and I read the book that comes with it is very educational.
Yeah,
but they sometimes only put out less than 100 records.
Dave, what is that? What record is that for?
I'm sure. I think Joe got it, didn't you? Chrissy's every time on the Ngozi family.
No, I
got it from Now and Again when they had a a seller come in, they sell their records there for like
Who is the artist? What is this record?
Oh,
It's
it's
Chrissy's
freaking great.
Chrissy's
Right. What's the name of the artist?
Well, it's got Paul Ngozi on guitar, and it's got Chrissy Zebi-Tembo on drums. I mean, it's all, and the vocals are great.
Ngozi family were like
Zamrock.
It's called the Ngozi family, but it's it's confusing because he's the only one that it's not actually like a family. It's that's what they're called, is the Paul Ngozi family.
But his family, his brothers, sisters were all sort of involved.
Yeah, and they also like the record label Chris Editions, which is what a lot of his stuff was on. His family owned like a furniture store, and the supposed story was with the one that Dave just showed, the one that came out for Record Store Day in April, that they found this they had this like crate of records that were in the back, and they were all like, there was no cover. There's no cover that exists for, I believe it's that one, Dave. Have you heard a story like that? I think
that's why Egon wanted to put this one out with a cover, because it's the long lost record that had no artwork.
Yeah. And the fact that the tapes are some type of like copy has existed is remarkable. And there's actually there's a few things as I've been getting more into African music in the last few months and really kind of putting the pedal on the floor in the last few weeks. There's some great documentaries on, I mean, if you just type in like Zamrock or African records on YouTube, you'll find a lot of great, there's this one guy, I can't remember what his name was, but he goes through like Zamrock, and there's interviews with Paul Ngozi and the guy that was the lead singer in which was like We Intend to Cause Havoc, and it was one of the first kind of pioneering Zamrock groups in the early 70s. But the thing that's crazy about Zamrock is that the majority of the artists that were associated with the records, it was a very short-lived period. It was from like 72 or so to like 78, 79 was like the main period. And then again, Paul Ngozi was able to get into the 80s, and he actually...
I think everything turned disco real fast.
But then by the early 80s, AIDS hit Africa, pretty much everybody knows, and it wiped out like 80% of the Zamrock musicians. And so, and that music was really being like, I don't know,
appreciated,
shown, or was being kind of like presented to like teenage kids that lived in Zambia in the 70s. And so it took, I think, quite a while for it to get out. I mean, maybe there were people that were in the 80s or 90s that again, it's kind of like the Blue Note stuff, that there were people that were just, they had the right information and that they were there at the right time. But the fact that most, if not all of that music escaped Africa is a miracle, because again, especially in Zambia, and I mean, again, I'm assuming probably all of Africa, AIDS was horrendous. So
Joe, there's a video of a record collector, and I'm hoping I saw it on YouTube. I think I saw it through other means, from Germany, and he worked at a radio station in New York City eventually, but he went and started living in West Africa and started put his own boots on the ground and was going around buying records.
Yeah.
And that video is incredible, because he goes through some of the rarest 7 inches that exist.
Yeah.
And he was showing that he found them and how long it took him to find them. And you get to see some of they're filming him trying to do deals with people like down there. It is crazy. It's a wild video. I'll try to find it.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot. There's a lot to explore with Zamrock, but let me get to the records so that we can move on, because I know that African stuff is for some, but it may not be for others. But I think, this is the only one that I got from the guy. His name is Richard. And he's a really nice guy. If you reach out to him on Instagram, he responds. I mean, I remember he lives in Slovakia, so it's a 6-hour difference between the East Coast and him. And I messaged him at like must have been like 6-7 o'clock in the evening, and I mean, and it was like a Tuesday, and he responded within like 10 minutes. So I mean, he's a really nice guy. He's given me deals, and again, like prior to a few weeks ago, I never even knew him, and he gave me a great deal on this. I was able to sell some stuff. This was a huge record I was looking for. This was my introduction to African music. This isn't Zamrock, but I'm finding that this artist is probably one of my favorite African artists, and that's K Frimpong. And I was able to find, I found an original. He said this is like the nicest copy he's ever seen of it. It's in really, really great shape for what it is. African standards are a little bit different. You can't expect perfection, even if it was brand new, like dead stock. He's backed by Vis-a-Vis, VISAVIS, which they had a handful of records in the 70s, maybe even into the 80s as well. Their records, all of them sell for mid 3 figures. I know what I'm still looking for is the one that came after this one. This is their second. This is K Frimpong's second record. The first one.
You have this one, right? I thought you got this one.
I do not have that. No.
Oh, okay.
No. I have the first record, which is a blue cover, and it's a picture of K Frimpong in the front. Okay. The next one after this, which came out in '78, was Vis-a-Vis, and it was a red cover with a guitarist on the front.
Oh yeah.
I'm eyeing a copy, and there's no way in hell that I'm going to buy this, but that second one and that one. There's a copy in South Africa, VG plus $1,500. There's no way I'm going to spend that, but I'd like to find a reissue of that, because that music is, again, really right in my wheelhouse. It's upbeat, it's African, Afrobeat, kind of funky type stuff. That's what I'm really finding I'm liking, but this was a huge one. Again, K Frimpong. There's reissues. There's a reissue of this. I might actually be, depending on, I haven't had the chance to play this in kind of its full capacity yet, but I do have the reissue of this from 2011, which still sells for like $75 to $100. I may be selling that. If somebody's interested, whether it's in the gallery or on here. Again, I'm going to kind of weigh. I might keep both just because it is a great record. But
he's from Ghana, right?
He's from Ghana. Yes. Yep. Then he was one of the pioneer high life guys in Africa in the 70s. And his music is great. He's a singer. K Frimpong is a singer, but he's always backed with a great band, trumpet, saxophone.
You got an Ebo Taylor?
I do. Yeah, I have. I don't know if you've seen it, Dave. I showed this the last time I was on, but I found from a guy in Brooklyn. Yeah, this is an original on Philips.
Oh, hell. Yeah.
That was
That's
a big
good.
one. That was another one that I've been finding a lot of the records. I mean, I know Rob was kidding, but a lot of the records I've been buying have been rather expensive, and so I've been selling a lot of stuff. And I'm starting to
I've seen you doing your flip videos, selling some heavy hitters.
I'm getting to the end of being able to sell, because I'm starting to. I have one record that I'm holding out for WFMU in the fall, because I'm hoping that the Joe Basement Records will be there, because that might be a record that he could be interested in, because he was not interested in anything that I had. That I thought that was,
as far as trading.
Yeah, I thought I had great stuff, and he was just like, I wiped my ass with some of that stuff you showed. So like, it's like, all right, whatever. But
that guy, he's
it was whatever. Some guys are like that. That's fine. He was like the Den Bosch kind of guys. Very, very high end. Had a lot of really great stuff. I know I've talked in the group about this. Mono Records LA. I don't know, Dave, if you bought anything, or if
I've got a lot from Matt.
Yeah, and actually, Dave, you were the one that actually pointed him out to me a few weeks ago. But he almost weekly at this point, but it's every other week. He does African stuff. He does needle drops, so you can actually hear what the records sound like. And this is a record I've been looking for. Really good deal on it. Cover's not super great, but it's actually a pretty decent, probably VG copy. This is Ricky Ilonga, Sunshine Love. This is probably the easiest Ricky Ilonga record to find, even though it's not super easy to find. But again, if you stick around Mono Records, he's had, I think, multiple copies in the last few months of this. So, but yeah, this is a great Ricky Illalonga, great guitarist. And actually, so this was Mono Records. That was a great one. And then I got from a guy in San Francisco, and I got a story for this. I'm actually going to make a video. It's not just about this guy. It's just about like it in general, but it was absolutely fucking ridiculous what this guy did when it came to shipping the record. But the record worked out really well. Super rare.
Oh, man.
Museo Tunia. I can't remember what the translation of this is, but it has some like widespread translation. This is an original. It's on MOT Records. There's like 3 different covers of this. This is the only one that looks the way that it does. The other ones have
Wings of Africa, right?
It has like a picture. Yeah. Yes, it's Wings of Africa is the record.
There's a different cover of an original on the wall.
It's blue. There's one that's blue, and I think there's one that's white. I know Dylan has I think both variations of it, but this one's actually this is actually I think considered to be the first Zamrock record, or at least like it's very, very early. Yes, so there's the blue one, but this actually has Ricky Illalonga on it. He's on lead guitar, vocals. I don't know how to pronounce the other guy. Nadara Mbao was another guy that both of them were kind of big pioneers of Zamrock. And then again, Ricky Illalonga became a solo artist, had a handful of records. I actually have a record that's coming next week it's another Ricky Illalonga. But this was a big one. But hold on just a second. I'm going to show you the packaging that this came in because it was absolutely insane. So,
oh, you're going to scare us.
Insane good, insane bad.
Oh, it's really
gonna be
bad.
terrible.
Rob. It's really bad. So I was still working. I'm a teacher, so I was at work, but my wife is off with our newborn son, and so I said, "Can you just look out for this package when it shows up?" And she said, "Sure." And then she texted me. She's like, "Yeah, I got it." She's like, "But it came in really large packaging." And I'm like, "Oh, like I've seen really big mailers before, and they're fine." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." The guy knew that it was an expensive record. Like, he's gonna ship it well. So I don't know. I was not familiar. Maybe Rob, you know this because you live in California. But Spindrift is that a drink out in California? Have you heard of that before?
I'm sick and tired of you thinking I'm some sort of fancy guy.
I'm not saying that. I just never heard of that before.
I
have no idea what that is. But anyways, that's not the point. So this is the packaging. All right. He literally took, and there's stuff falling out. He literally took like a 6-pack of the Spindrift, like the
Does
cardboard
it smell like
box.
grapefruit?
This is the inner packaging, like protection. And then he has this, which is literally just one of the sides of the box that he ripped off. And then the main packaging is literally like the fucking box itself. Like it's just a powder box.
This came from LA? It
was San Francisco.
So this isn't the guy you found on Instagram.
No, it is not. I'm not. No.
So
this is Mono Records. No.
Here's the way I
that
feel.
That guy is packaging well. That guy is
okay.
Great
So in my experience, because I've gotten records sent that way, I've gotten records in pizza boxes. Here's my feeling when people ship you records that way. They're not really record dealers or flippers.
100%. Yeah.
Here's typically what I believe they are. I believe they're people that go like buy stuff at thrift stores and they found a record in a collection at a garage sale.
Right.
And they go, I know this is valuable, but I don't know. That's usually because I've got records off of eBay that way, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of my best deals, like some of the most ridiculous deals that I've got, the records come in those types of packaging because it's just people who just don't know what they have. They don't have packaging. And it's like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Joe, I had a guy do that to me in out of San Diego. And it was a combination of what Rob talked about and what you just talked about, Joe. It was that kind of packaging, cut up pizza boxes with, when you turned over the box, when you opened it, the grease was still on there.
Yeah.
And I got
Yeah, and
this in that damn box is a
Oh my
triple
God.
LP of the Ground Nation, the Mystic Revelation of Rastafari. This is crazy stuff, man. Count
my God.
Ossie. And I was so pissed. I was just ready to kill
Like-
Yeah,
people.
and it don't get me wrong, the guy, yeah,
Oh.
didn't know what he was doing. He shipped it quick. It got here quick. There was no problem. Package. I mean, it was not packaged. I don't know. I can't even remember. Like, I'm like blacking out now because like I saw what the packaging looked like, and I'm just like, okay, like maybe the guy just didn't have any materials, and so
Well,
Yeah,
he
your
did
here's
heart
this.
goes in your
And then
stomach, though.
I look and I'm like, oh my God, this is literally probably the drinks that this guy has at his house, and he just has a box. And instead of putting it in the recycling
No.
bin, he's gonna use it to ship my record. Like,
I'm an
Oh.
amateur. I'm an amateur profiler. So let
Yeah.
me fill you in, Joe. He's the heir to the Smittenoff seltzer family.
yeah.
It's
That's
spin
the
drift.
guy.
It's spin drift. It's a seltzer. We
Okay,
get it
so,
here in
I don't.
Connecticut.
Yeah, I don't drink seltzer, so maybe that's just.
I drink seltzer, but honestly, all those names look the same. They packaged the
Yeah.
seltzer the same.
Yeah.
Well,
You're not
you
a
know
real
what?
record collector till that's happened to you.
I got
So,
one more
like,
record to show, and then
I'm going to point out,
God
like, I
rest
think
him.
how Mike comes across a lot of good records and how I got this record. So,
Okay.
as a side step from the seller you dealt with, again, these are people that are trying to. Let's go to a thrift store garage sale. Oh, I know this is worth something, but they're not really educated on the protocol of shipping shit. I got this in an auction last week, Farrah Sanders. This is the alternative cover because it's the same year that it
Yeah.
came out on ESP Desk. I got this for $41 in an auction.
Hell yeah.
I got it, and it goes on like it's over $150 record, easy, maybe more than that. I believe in the case where Mike wins records like this on eBay auctions, it's eBay sellers, but they come across records they know are worth something, but so they just put it up. And this was sent to me nicely packaged because they were an eBay seller. But if you go, do yourself a favor and go, if you're trying to think, is this person legit? Go look at all the other things they're selling. Because the majority of what the seller was selling were not
It's
records.
not records. Yeah.
Yeah. And this guy was mostly selling like African stuff. He had a lot of $200-$300, like, again, Paul and Gozi, and it was stuff that like you just didn't really see. And I think for me, the appeal was the fact that he was in the US, so I didn't have to deal with expensive shipping, long shipping from Europe
Did you
or
get it for
somewhere
a good
like
price?
that.
You got
Yeah.
it for a good price?
Yes. Yeah. It was a good price.
Do you feel you got it for a good price because this guy was like an amateur or didn't know what he was doing?
I think he just saw that I was interested in a record that maybe not a lot of people were or just didn't even know really about. And my interest in it was enough for him to kind of, bend over backwards, and he shipped it as quick as he could and stuff like that. So
Drank a whole 2 cases of seltzer for you.
yeah, that's right. That's right. I got one other thing to show. I did show this a few weeks ago, but I think it was, I don't even remember. There was not a lot of people on, and I wanted to kind of showcase this again because this is a great artist. His records, again, this is going to fit into what Rob was describing for me. And again, I apologize if this is the persona that I'm giving off, but there's a guy, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but killer guy in Finland, Eero Koistavoinen, something like that. Apologize if there's been anybody that's Finnish or Scandinavian on the stream. But this one's called Labyrinth. He's actually in a labyrinth. I think Mazzy was on the stream when I showed this before, and he didn't know what Labyrinth looked like, and that's literally what this is. So he has a bunch of records in the 70s into the 80s. Everything that he has, everything that's an original. His Love Records is one of the labels that he was on. He had a handful. Probably one of his most expensive records was called Odysseus, which I actually saw somebody show at Den Bosch in was it the spring? I guess it was the spring. And I just saw last week Minty Vinyl, great seller out of Germany. If you ever come across something from him on Discogs or personally, you see him on Instagram.
Yeah.
He's got a shop in Dusseldorf, but nice guy. Stuff is not cheap, but he's kind of like Dave Joe from Basement Records. Everything that he has seems to just be immaculate condition. But
Yeah,
he's
he's on Discogs.
Yeah, he had a copy of it was called Woohoo, and it was on
The Duke Jordan?
RCA Victor.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on RCA Victor, but it was a like either Finnish or Swedish or something like that.
It wasn't French. It wasn't
It was
French.
not it was not French. No, but it was called Woohoo and had a brighter color cover to it. And I saw it was only up for a bit. I think it just sold in the last few days or so. But it was $1,400 on Discogs is what he wanted for it. So, and it was, I guess, like near mint. He said there was no noise to it whatsoever. But that's kind of just the caliber of this guy. I don't know what made him stand out from other musicians that were at the time. And again, in Scandinavia, maybe again, Finnish, there was not a lot of guys that were coming out of Finland, but this is not free jazz. This is very much in like the post-bop modal. He plays the saxophone, which for me is really the main instrument that I've started to gravitate towards above other instruments. But it's just a quartet. You've got a guy on piano, bass, percussion, drums, and then again he's on tenor sax, soprano, sopranino. This is probably the only Eero record I'm going to find. And actually, the only reason I knew about this record was because what's the name of the shop in Boston? I've talked about it. I can't remember.
Music Research Library.
Music Research Library. Thank you. They got a copy around Record Store Day, and I was not able to. I have a friend that lives in Boston, but I was not able to get my hands on it.
I was going to ask you if you got that from Boston. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I did. I got the one I did get from Boston was the I don't even know if I have it nearby, but I can't even think of what it's called. Like
I know which one. I remember you showing it.
Yes, Yarns Verlet or something like that, and it had like a Native American on the front, and that's not super expensive. I think I paid like $75 for that record, but that one I did get from the guy, and for them.
That shop gets so much good stuff, but they're one of those in-store only type shops.
Yeah,
like Ergot in New York.
Yeah, he's got great stuff. And again, I have a friend, but it's just it's hard for on a whim. You're like, hey, can you go like right now and check this out?
Yeah,
like
Joe,
you got a record mule.
Right. Joe, who was the first artist that you showed from the Zamrock?
Was it K Frempon?
So what is that music like? I haven't sampled it before. Like, what's the style?
A good combo.
So it's considered like high life, but it also is again,
it's like garage rock.
No, that's not.
That's
the
not
stuff
that
in
one.
Ghana was not garage. It was not like fuzz guitar. It was very funky, very like it was like Afrobeat, but it
rock
also was considered high life.
Okay,
so it was almost like it's like the Ghanan version of like reggae almost. Like it's a very like dun, 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 like kind of, I don't know, not like that, but it's like kind of like that where
got a great groove to it, man.
Yeah, there's a great groove to it, and especially his stuff. He just really led the groups real well. Again, Vis-a-Vis was a big group that he worked with, and then he also the one that I showed. I forgot to point that out, but he played with Vis-a-Vis, but he also had this group that he called the Cubano Fiestas, and his first two records are Cubano Fiestas, and then he also worked with Vis-a-Vis.
Joe, are there 7-inch records from that group? I think there might be. Yeah,
I think I don't know if there is. There definitely is. I think for Vis-a-Vis, but good Lord, those records themselves are again mid to high 3 figures. Those 7 inches probably are 4.
They're over 4.
Well, hold on. How big is the group? What instruments do they play horned instruments? If they're doing Cuban stuff, I think there's
no. It's not. It's called Cubano Fiestas. It has nothing to do with. It's not like
Afro
Cuban.
So is it like?
I think it's just a coincidence with the name. I don't think it really had any connection to Afro Cuban or. But there's guitar? No. It's the classic. It's like guitar, bass, drums, saxophone, trumpet, stuff like that. But again, it's very groovy, very funky, Afrobeat type stuff. But it's killer. I mean, and again, it's like for me, sometimes I've had the opportunity to go to Brooklyn, to go to Human Head, which is one of the best shops on the East Coast when it comes to African stuff. It can be hit or miss. It's kind of like we were talking about with Music Research Library, where if you're not there that day, I remember a few weeks ago, it was actually they had gotten in a collection and they only had one African record. It was Dread Eyes, Ricky Ilalonga.
Oh yeah.
Great cover. It's like a black and yellow cover to it, and I saw it just like in the top corner of their wall. And Evan, who was friends with Billy, was at the time, it was right after Billy had passed. They were cleaning out his shop. It was when they were, for a very short time, they were, if anybody was interested in like the cubes that they had in the back and his cleaning machines and all that stuff. But anyways, he was in Brooklyn, and he lives in Brooklyn, but he was at the shop. And Billy's shop was right around the corner from Human Head, so it was very easy it was even walkable to the two shops. But I asked him, I said, is there any way, Human Head opens at noon, is there any way that you could head over there around noon and see if you can get your hands on this? And they'd put up the post on Instagram at like 1 a.m. the night before. So it wasn't even like they've been days or weeks or whatever. And he said he got there and an employee had picked it up the night before. So, and it was after the image. And it's like, I'm not frustrated about that, because it's like you're working at the shop. That's one of the things that you're always going to get. The owner, Travis, gets his hands on the stuff. He's not interested in it. Goes to the employees. I'm not frustrated about that, but like, I'm not used to that. The shops that I go to in Rochester, Western New York, stuff like that, like there are dog situations where if you're not there at that time, you may not get it. But I mean, Mike, you may be able to speak to it because you spend more time in the city than probably all of us. But I mean, some of these things, if you're not there when it shows up, it's gone. I mean, it's
It's like because Dylan does his flip videos.
Yeah,
that's what, if I'm not up front in line at Noble on his Saturday drops, I'm not getting what I'm there to get.
You're not getting.
So the last time I was in the city, I got one of my records because they literally put it on the wall when I was there digging.
Yes.
And then I went
and
grabbed it and left.
And the thing that, and it's also something I'm not really used to either, is the fact that, and this is not like a shock to me. It's just like, I'm not used to it, that you see a record and you're like, oh yeah, that's $500. There's no way in hell someone's just going to like drop that. But like, there are a lot of people in New York City that have a lot of money.
Your whole pickups has me thinking about, like, so you're getting into Zamrock and some other stuff. It seems like this is getting progressively rarer and more difficult. Is that safe to say? Like, in terms of because even the FMP stuff, it was not like that stuff's easy to find in the United States. I mean, sometimes I keep going back and forth between, like, there are still, like, funny enough, and I've passed so many times on this record, but the Cooker, Lee Morgan, a classic Blue Note record, and I'm holding out for an original or at least a 60s mono copy of that. And I've started thinking about it in the last month or so it's not like it's been that long, but I know I'm going to come across that at some point. But yeah, you're right, Mike. It's getting tougher and tougher. And that's why if you follow me on Instagram, you see over the last year or so, especially around the fair times, I'm putting up stuff because I'm not trying to kill my family with the money that I'm spending on these records. And it sucks too, because there's records that I've bought or I've listened to them and then be like, this is great. But then like a year later, even 6 months later, I'm just like, but I'm willing to pass on this if I can find X, Y, and Z. And I've given up a lot of stuff, and I have not regretted really anything that I've sold, because what I've gotten from it is much better. But yes, it's getting tough. And my wife and I are both teachers, and we're not really bringing in a series, what I think I
sometimes portray on the channel.
Joe.
And the thing that really sucks about me too, and like I can't shake this in any capacities. Every hobby that I've had, I always dive in and I always choose things that are more expensive, because for me, I see like if something is more expensive, then it means it has to be better. And it's not always like that. There are
it's actually not that in many cases. Many cases the reissues do sound better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's right too. There's and that's especially with these African stuff, is like I was happy with that K Frimpong reissue that I had gotten in Florida in February. I did not think I was ever going to find an original, or that I was going to, if I did, that I was going to kind of spend the money for it, because it just, I mean, and there's Music Research Library has definitely opened my eyes to records that I've never even heard of before, that after seeing it the first time, I'm like, shit, I got to pick this up.
I'm
never going to see this again. And I'm not even kidding. If you go to Boston, you got to go there. They're closed on Mondays, so don't plan on going there on Mondays, but Tuesday through Sunday they're open. I think they open at 11 or something like that. You got to go there, because especially for the rare stuff, they have an entire bin that's just rare stuff. You're going to find stuff that you can't even find in Europe sometimes. And they're European records. Like it's incredible the stuff they have.
I'm actually going up to Boston on Sunday and staying till Tuesday. So I'm going to see if I can swing on my way home to stop there.
Nice.
If I can. So
let
I'll let
us know and don't get me wrong, it can be, I went the first few times last summer I went, and it was the first time.
But I'm looking for totally different stuff. I mean,
it was really great. And it is like any shop, it's always going to be whatever has come in recently. It is, I think, a little bit more, it's different than what we were describing with like Human Head, or what Dave's describing with Noble Records, where like there are records that are so niche that even people with deep pockets are going to have absolutely no idea what that is. And even with the money they're not stupid. They're not going to just spend $500 because there's a $500 record in front of them. You know what I mean? Most of the people, hopefully, are not going to be in that boat. But again, they have great stuff and they advertise pretty much everything that they put in the shop is on Instagram. But there have been some stuff. I found a Palm record. It was a big band Palm record. Mm-hmm. And I never saw that. I even went back to the post after I bought it and was like, did I miss this? And it was just like,
I would pick up a Palm. I don't have a Palm.
Yeah, you got to get Palm.
I got to get at least one.
There's great reissues again.
I have reissues. I don't have.
What's the label that's doing the
Souffle
reissues?
Continue.
Souffle Continue.
Yeah, Souffle Continue. They've got a lot of great stuff. I think I have 12 Palm records. I want to say 10 to 12, somewhere in there. And I
think I only have 2.
Here's my question for you, Joe. When you find like a new space that you need to explore because you don't have anything of it, so like it sounds like, I mean, Palm actually sounds like you have a good number of them now, but like,
and I went crazy with those too. It's like when I bought those.
So my question is this: is that like for Zamrock, like you're not, I mean, it's impossible to be a completist, I would imagine. So like, are you just looking, like if you were to get a dozen of them, would that satisfy, or would you continue
because I've, especially since they found this guy in Slovakia, he offers, it's disturbing the shipping price. It's $50 for shipping, but it's the
going rate.
It's like 5 kilograms, which I'm a science teacher and I don't even fucking know what that is in pounds, but that's not the point. All right. It's 5 kilograms. So whatever that amounts to, X number of records. But it's 50 euros for shipping, or $50. I think it's $50. I think it actually, because I think even on Discogs, it does translate to, it's like $50 shipping, but it's 2 days. It's 2 days shipping from Slovakia.
That's good.
So it's like you get what you pay for. So that's fine. That's not the only
airmail.
He has He has like regular shipping. That's like $12, $15, $18, whatever it is. But I've discovered with Zamrock stuff that there is only a handful of records that I'm actually interested in. It's got to have a certain sound for me. I do really like. I've always been driven towards the guitar. I played the guitar when I was younger. I'm trying to keep up with that, but it's just been, life has gotten in the way. I've just not been doing that as much, but I've always been driven towards the guitar. All the records, pretty much every genre of music that I bought with records has some connection with guitars or piano. I played the piano as a child too, especially classical music. But when it comes to Zamrock, there's only a handful of other ones. I actually just put in my want list last week. They did a reissue. It was a few years ago now. I think it was 2 years ago. They did a reissue of the Zamrock box set, and that's still selling for several $100. It's like
The Vinyl Me Please.
Yes, the Vinyl Me Please. Original came out right at the beginning of COVID 2020, and then I think the reissue was either 22 or 23, so it's in the last few years. But the original, or the first pressing, is like $400, $500 for the box. And I thought at first it was records I already had, because I only have a limited number. But when I looked at the list of the records, I actually don't have any of the records that are in the box.
Yeah, but they put them out individually.
Oh, okay. I did not know. Okay.
Because it's done.
Yeah.
It's now again.
Yes.
They did the same thing with the Tribe box.
Yes.
With Vinyl Me Please.
Yeah.
Those were Bernie Grubman. I think these were Bernie Grubman. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But
I think you're right.
they put them out individually. They did the Tribe records individually, and they did the Zamrock.
Yeah. So that's, I don't know. To answer your question, Mike, there's a handful of records that I'm looking for, but I'm now a little more cautious because I'm starting to get a feel of like what I like. But I'm also surprised. I bought actually there was a guy, I couldn't even tell you what the guy's name is. He lives in LA. Rob probably knows him, right? Because you know everybody in LA, Rob, right?
Yes, literally. I know everybody.
Yes, you know every single person.
I know John, Sam, Muggsy, Big Tom, Little Tom. No.
But
what's the guy's name?
But no, I have no idea. I can't even remember what the guy's. He was on Instagram. If I remember after I get off,
He probably sells at like the shows or stuff.
Yeah,
around,
he has he unearthed a box or box or two of African 45s, and he's been putting them up on his story yesterday, today. I think he's going to continue into next week as well. And there was one actually today, was a Paul and Gozi. The rest of it was not stuff I really was familiar with. But
Sound
again,
Aspects label.
Like, what did you say?
Sound Aspects label.
No. I don't think it was on. No, it was not a label I was familiar with for the Paul and Gozi one. But prices are pretty good. You can listen. He has a needle drop for each side, and he also, it seems like he's conservatively grading the records. But I bought one. It was a Zimbabwe like funk disco type one. So that'll be coming next week in the mail. But I mean, I followed this guy maybe a few months ago at most, and he put up on his story, and I was like just going through each one. So there's a lot to dig into. But I couldn't. It's not like free jazz where I can kind of pinpoint like this is what I like, and I like these types of records and stuff like that. It's with the African stuff. There can be records that fit into the same subgenre or whatever of stuff I love, and I listen to it and I'm like, this just isn't it for me. The vocals are not there, the instrumentation isn't there. And to be honest, what I've learned in, again, the limited few months that I've been listening is that the guys that are popular, there's a reason why they're popular, especially for the Zamrock stuff. Those Ngozi family ones are absolutely incredible. Whether you like African music or not, if you like hard, real, like fuzz guitar type stuff, it's just killer. And the vocals are really great as well. So there's just a formula that I think some of these bands, these groups came up with, and for me, it fits. For others, you might listen to it and be like, that's just not really for me.
Joe, I got 2 questions for you. First, you're talking about the stuff you were selling. Did you sell that Milford Graves?
I did, yeah.
Pretty quickly, didn't you? Did it have the Obi?
Well, yeah. I've taken a lot of time, so I don't really want to continue to monopolize the conversation. But around the time that my son was born, I was actually in the hospital, and I decided, I don't know, stupidly enough, I decided the day before, actually the day that we went in for my wife to be induced, Like, this is a great fucking time to sell some records on Instagram, even though I'm away from my collection, whatever. So I'm like, that's fine. So I put some stuff up. I think there was one record. It was Evan, Jazz Vinyl Doctor. He lives actually in Raleigh now, but he lives in New York City for a while. I've sold a bunch to him. He seems to be he buys a lot of stuff that I have that's higher price stuff, but he's a really nice guy. I'm willing to give a deal to really anybody.
Yeah.
If they're interested in the stuff, and I have some flexibility with the prices, but some of these records, it's like these people. It reminded me of like the common joke with Facebook Marketplace, where somebody comments saying, "Hey, you still have this like item or whatever," and then you say, "Yeah, if you want to meet me, blah blah blah," or whatever, and then they ghost you and they disappear, and you're just giving them and it's like these people are like clearly interested in it, and then they disappear, and so I message them back. I'll give them a day or two. I'll say like, "Are you still interested in this? I have a few other people that are interested in it, but I want to like honor you first or whatever."
Oh yeah, you're just being an honest seller.
Whatever the story is.
Look, if you don't like the way I sell records to you, Joe, chill.
Right.
Go
if
somewhere else.
If you don't want the records to come in a seltzer box, then don't buy from me. Like,
look, I drink a lot of seltzer and I have extra cardboard boxes.
But it's just so. But yeah, to answer your question, Dave, it was. It took a few days. I'm trying to think. I have to go back.
That's one that's eluded me.
I can't remember who ended up buying it. That one was, I think, probably the best condition one. I know that. I don't know if any of you know Donovan. He lives out in San Diego, and he's friends with a man in his music who's like a younger college guy, and he's a college guy, and they've done, I think, a few like podcasts, YouTube things before. But him and I have talked a little bit, but he bought something for me, but I can't remember who it was that bought the Milford Graves, but that one did go.
All right, my second question, because you brought up Billy, did you see his service?
Yeah, I commented on the group. I was watching it, and it was during the finals weeks.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there, and I had some time, and I think Rob had posted in our group the link for it. So I was like, oh, I'll just watch it. And I think it had ended at that point because this was the afternoon. But I watched it, and oh my god, I started crying multiple times.
That was like, so well done.
When his sisters got up there and were talking about it, and like his dad was much more reserved, but it was like, I mean, it was obviously, it was.
So for people watching, we're talking about Billy Jones, who owned Billy's Record Salon, was a friend to a number of us, and he passed away. So they streamed a service, and it was, I kind of skimmed through it, and it was really kind of an incredible event.
The little girl at the end singing.
Man.
It was really, really good. Really good.
So quickly, I just want to ask Joe, how many Zamrock records do you have?
Zamrock, I probably got
estimate
2 or 3. I don't have
Rob.
many.
Rob, how many do you have? 1? And then Dave, I'm sure you have like 50.
Yeah, because of Dylan. I got all of Dylan's. When Dylan upgrades, I get the hand-me-downs.
Dave, do you? I know I talked to you about it a few weeks ago, but he had sent me the information about the Dread Eyes. I didn't end up getting it from him because the copy was pretty torched. And
there's some torch stuff that came.
Yeah, he was very honest. Do you know? Because I keep seeing especially on the stories, when he's doing like the flip videos and stuff, I'll see like that the super holy moly wall. There's that Black Power. What's the story with that? Do you know? Like, is it a price is that why it's sitting? Or
it's because it's a higher price. It's probably the stuff he puts on the super holy moly walls are usually $400 up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's definitely. I have that. It's funny. Sherv gave me that CD when I went out to LA and visited him. That Power. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that looked like a nice. The cover looks nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
If I was
I don't
Dave,
know
if
about
I
the
was
record.
in your position, I would have already bought that. But I'm not.
Yeah.
I need to slow down with it. And it's also like
Yeah.
that record for me isn't really doing it. Like for me completely. I think I need to listen to it a few more times, and more than likely a reissue is gonna.
I kept it in the car for a while and would listen to it on the way to work. It jams, man.
Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah.
more fun to listen to on the way home from work. But
I have
I don't know. It's one of the records.
I have $1 million idea for you, Joe, so you can afford to buy the records you want.
Can I move in with you, Rob? Would that be?
Then you would be my butler. Yes, Mr. Rob?
I actually did, Rob. Funny enough, before you tell me that, my wife and I were talking about like when we reach our 10-year wedding anniversary in a few years, that we're gonna come out to California, and she's like, she especially did not like LA for the traffic and stuff. It just wasn't great for her. But I said, like, now, especially through you, like with Atomic Records, and I'd like to check out the new Amoeba, and like, but I said like. And if we're like low on cash, we could stay in Rob's apartment. So I kind of like volunteer
There you go.
apartment for.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But my $1 million idea is you set up a Teacher Joe's YouTube channel where you like help people with their the grade you teach.
Yeah.
Do lessons. I'm telling you, it's a good idea, and then you'll have money for records.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have I'm going to break in. So we had the poll going. We now have.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
We have 77 votes. I'm going to end it because it's pretty clearly the quartet has 60% of the vote. So the question is, your favorite group size: solo or duo, trio, quartet, quintet, or bigger. So quartet got 60%. Trio came in second with 28%, quintet or bigger 10%, and solo or duo 3%. So I'm gonna end it. But Joe, I feel like you're always like a year ahead of kind of where I am, because like now I'm just starting to get some FMP titles, and I don't know. Like the thing is, the Palm titles I do like them. Like that Frank Lowe, I like. There are a number of them, but they're all over $100.
Yeah.
So, and then you have to ship them from France or something, and so it's like a $150+ at least.
Yeah.
So
I have an FMP for Dave. I'm holding for Dave.
Oh yeah.
So hold on. So Joe, while you're here, because I know you're probably wanting to jump, but I wanted to show a couple things. So this is definitely a Joe record. I'm pretty certain I saw you show this.
Yeah. I sold that, but I had that for a bit. Yeah.
The story here is I went into the city. I wrote a Substack about this, but last Tuesday I went to the city to do a listening session with some friends. And before we went record shopping. So I went to A1 Records and I picked up Saxophone Special. Generally, at this point, I feel like if it's a Steve Lacy record, I'll probably like a first pressing Steve Lacy of any sort. I'm going to be interested in it. And yeah, so I learned this one from you. This is like the UK jazz scene in like the mid 70s, I think.
Mike, A1's in the Village, right?
No. A1 is on the other side of Manhattan in
All right.
I guess it's Lower East Side.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But the East Village, right?
yeah, that's right. So
Yeah.
this is it's Saxophone Quartet. It predates World Saxophone Quartet, and it came out the same time as Braxton's New York Fall 1974, which I think is a quartet. So this was pretty edgy for the time in terms of what they were recording, the group style. And it's got Steve Lacy, Steve Potts, Trevor Watts, and Evan Parker on saxophones. And Evan Parker plays baritone. I think it's the only time he's played baritone. So it's on this one. And it's 74. They recorded at Wigmore Hall, London, and it's on M&M. So anyway, this is a cool one.
Does it get out? It must get pretty out.
It does get pretty out. Yeah,
it's
good. This one, I think Joe, you said you sold it. So this is also A1. This is Steve Lacy Quintet.
Yeah, no, I've never seen that record before you showed that.
Oh, I thought you said you had it and sold it for some reason.
No, the other one the one that you just showed I had.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is an SAJ. So it's an FMP, but the catalog number is SAJ because I think they kind of reserve the FMP for Brotsman and some specific artists. It seems like.
I read something, and it's a little interesting that Steve Lacy didn't make the cut because he was definitely a big guy in Europe at the time. But that SAJ was more for, especially as you got into like the later 70s, was more for like obscure, like avant-garde, either it being like the sound was very weird.
My Schlippenbach is FMP.
Yeah. So it's either like weird stuff, like weird instruments or weird sounds, whatever, or it was musicians that were just not very well known at the time or did not have like a large. That's why it's interesting that I mean, because like John Chikai, the one you have that Mike as well, I know.
The solo.
Yeah. And that one is
SAJ.
a similar thing where because Albert Mangelsdorf plays, I think, on one of the tracks as a duo, but it was I don't know, with SAJ it was mostly obscure. So
this was recorded at the Academy of Kunst in Berlin. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's 1977. Everything's composed by Steve Lacy. They played cello instead of, there's a cello and a bass. I'm sorry. So cello is Irene Abbey and bass is Kent Carter. And then it's produced by Joost Gerbers and Steve Lacy. Yep. And the cover art is Antoine Nicoglu and the photography is Dagmar Gerbers. I don't know who Dagmar Gerbers is.
That was, I think, his wife.
Okay. So anyway, it's a great record, and I don't know.
That's a cool find, man.
Yeah, like in the wild to see this. Like these were only like $30 or something, so nothing crazy.
Yes. Yep.
But then this is the one they put on the wall when I was there for $35. It's Kenny Dorham. This one, it's Trompetta Toccata, and I didn't have a copy of it. So it was $35, but so it's an original stereo cover. So it's original cover, and it's a RVG stereo pressing. So anyway, these sound really good, and for $35, I was totally happy.
That's a great deal. Yep,
happy to get that, and it's a hard like I don't this is a pretty hard record to get. So
I've never found a copy.
It's got Joe Henderson, Tommy Flanagan, Richard Davis, and then Albert Heath rounds it out with obviously Kenny Dorham on trumpet, and he composes most of the songs here. It's like Afro Latin stuff on here. There's also on Mamacita. There's Dorham and Henderson, and they're like in like. You ever heard like The Chase and the Steeplechase by like Dexter Gordon and Wardell Gray? It's like that. It's like a new kind of. It's kind of like that how they're playing against each other. So it's a great record, and it's Reed Miles and Francis Wolff. So Francis Wolff photography, Reed Miles design. It's a particularly good cover, I think.
I like the colors on it.
Yeah, so it's a good one. So that's what I picked up from A1. Then I met up with Rich from Deep Groove Mono, and we went over to Stranded, which I didn't find anything there, but they did have a lot of like ethnographic recordings from Paris, or they were Paris companies, but all over, all different types.
Is Stranded one of the ones where you walk down below street level?
Yes, it is. Yeah. The staff there was absolutely great. We had a good time there. There wasn't much jazz, but like it was really fun to hang out there for a little bit. And then after that, we went to Ergot or Ergo. I don't know how.
Yeah, the one they don't sell online at all, but they have the craziest stuff.
So there, I got two things. This is another artist, kind of like Steve Lacy, where generally, if I can find it affordable and it's like a European pressing, I'll get it. So this is Michelle Portal. It's Men's Land. Do you guys know this one?
No.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I know.
You have it? Do you have it, Joe?
No, I passed on it. I found it in a guy's basement, and I decided to pass on it.
So this one is really good, and it's not out there like at all. It kind of reminds me a little bit, and it's not exactly, but like Julius Hemphill, like how the compositions are, because it's so unique. It's so in his own voice that doesn't really sound like anybody else in kind of a weird way that just kind of popped in my head. But I really like this album, and he plays bass clarinet on it, which is cool. You have Jack DeJohnette on it. Dave Liebman's on it, which I know, Joe, you're a big fan of. I'm sure, Dave, you probably are too. And then there's JFJC is now what I'm calling him. It's Jean-Francois Jenny Clark. It's like the new NHOP for me.
Yeah, he's the man.
So he's on that. So once I saw the lineup, I was like, as soon as I saw the bass player, honestly, I was like, I'm getting this.
Yeah, that's a cool one. Yep.
So and it's on.
What was the price, Mike, for that, if you don't mind?
It was like $30 or something. I forget exactly. None of the stuff I got was expensive. There's some good pictures on the back here.
Nice.
With Jack DeJohnette. It has the original. So I guess this was sold originally in 1990 for 70. It's got to be francs back in 1990. So it's 1987 recording. It's like the description says it's like online it says it's free improvisation, which I don't think that's what this is. There's way more structure to this. There's tons of structure. So I don't think that's what it is. Okay, so and then also from Ergot, I picked this up because this was right in my wheelhouse. It's a 10-inch Lucky Thompson. It's a UK pressing of a French Paris recording back in like the mid 50s. And it has Henry Renaud on piano, who I've come to absolutely love. He is like one of my favorite old school like French players, because he just put out a bunch of really good like hard bop records, like not hard bop and blue note hard bop stuff, maybe more like swing to bop style. But he's with Lucky Thompson, and then also Emmett Berry, who I wasn't too familiar with. He's an old trumpet player, but he plays a mute on it, and they're a very nice quintet. So this was like $30 too. So I picked.
Looks like a Charlie Parker cover, you know.
It's a 10-inch in like perfect condition.
Wow.
The sound on this, like the horns, just that's why I kind of obsess about the old pressings, because of how they cut the horn, like how the horn sounds on them. You know, like Van Gelder got a real sharp sound, and it's almost like the rhythm section it's like overlooked. Well, not with Van Gelder, but like with a lot of the old recordings, it gets overlooked. And but it's all about kind of like who the lead instrument is, and this sounds fantastic. I guess it's pressed by Decca, who owned London, and I guess the French label was I don't know how to pronounce it, Ducriquet Thomas or something, and they do Ellington.
Watch your language, Mike.
They do some Lucky Thompson recordings, but I don't have too much Lucky Thompson. I have some of the early stuff he played on, like Dial. Hey, Fred.
Hey.
And then I have Lucky Strikes on Prestige, and maybe something else.
I have it in my box for auction, but I haven't sold it yet. I have him on Atlantic.
Okay. Okay, and then so after Ergot, we went to Academy on 18th, which had a terrible jazz selection, just atrocious. Not like they're not even trying. They're not trying.
Is there one that's on 12th as well? 12th Street?
Yes, I think so. I think that's the.
I don't know. I thought Academy had good jazz.
Academy does have good jazz, but this Academy shop doesn't. I don't think they send the good jazz to this one. However, this one has a really good jazz CD section. So I went through all the CDs and I found a couple good ones. So I picked up this Steve Lacy, Mal Waldron, live at Jazz in It, and it's all Monk compositions except one Bud Powell. So you know that's in my wheelhouse. So nice. More Steve Lacy. Rob, do you know this one?
I do not know that one.
So this is. I wish I had the notes here. It doesn't say who else is on it, but anyway, it's Steve Lacy, Mal Waldron live, and then I got this because Chris has hyped this group up, the Vandermark 5.
Oh, nice.
This is Elements of Style, Exercises and Surprises, and every song is dedicated to somebody. So the first song is dedicated to John Gilmore, your boy Dave.
Heck yeah.
The next one is for Basquiat. The next one is for ZU, which I'm not sure what ZU is. The next is Glenn Gould. So Glenn Gould, how cool is that? And then the next is Lars Gulen. There's a song dedicated to Lars Gulen, who's like a tenor player from Sweden, I think, from like the 50s, which is just
Nice.
something you don't see too much of. And then there's Max Beckman, who I don't know. And then there's one that's dedicated to a bunch of people. I don't know who they are, but I listened to it and it's very good. I do like this a lot. This is worth streaming. You can go to the Bandcamp and listen to it. It's Vandermark 5 Elements of Style, if you want to check this out.
He gets a little bit avant and free on the saxophone, doesn't he?
For sure, but I think this is more tame
Yeah.
than what the stuff Chris is listening to of his.
Yeah.
And I didn't know. I mean, I just grabbed it just because I knew the group. But I got this at Academy. And that kind of rounded out my New York pickups. So
Nice.
what grading do you guys give me?
A B plus.
Okay. Don't jump in with too much excitement now.
B
Yeah.
B plus.
You've got some great stuff.
B plus, come on.
As a educator, and I hope Joe will agree with me,
Oh, baritone. Thank you.
we'll give you an A for effort, but you could be better.
Well, the thing was, it wasn't like that because Joe, you asked me, you were like, send me the free stuff. There were no big titles on the walls.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like nothing that I noticed that was worth sharing.
When I went to the city last summer around this time, I found Frank Wright Trio on ESP disc at Jazz Record Center. They actually had 2 copies of it. But it was a great price for it, and it was in really great condition. And then at Billy's, I found Noah Howard Quartet, the first one with the black cover, which in the end I didn't end up. I liked it. I listened to it. It was an unbelievably clean copy of that, but I just I decided I ended up passing that one on. But no, you're right, Mike. I did not. It was not. I don't know. It's one of those things where I think there's so many shops in the city that if you're just not there on the right day, or if you don't know what,
it seems like a lot of the good shops for jazz are in Brooklyn.
yeah,
Too. I was in Manhattan. I wasn't going to go over there.
right. And it's it's I don't know. It's
We
tough
we finalized our place for WFMU. It's in Manhattan.
Oh, speaking of that, there's an audio show. It's like THE Audio New York or something. I forget the name of it. I'm looking into it. It's a big audio event in Manhattan that happens. I guess when's WFMU?
Oh, seven. Well, what? We're
It's
going to be there
Veterans-
like the 7th through the 10th.
it's
Is it
Veterans-
October or September?
Veterans Weekend.
What month is it?
It's November. It's like
Okay.
November 9th to the 11th or something like that.
So this audio
Yeah.
show is in October because it's the month before. And I want to go to it. So Joe, if you want to go to a hi-fi show and go check out that stuff, I think I'm just going to go. So let me know.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see you.
Nice.
Yeah, I think Felipe might. He's debating if he's going to fly up. I think he only wants to fly up for either this show or FMU. So maybe
You're
we
going
can
to look at a lot of tubes, huh?
Well, you know what it was? I went to that. Sorry, Fred. I'll kick it over to you in a second. But I was, when I went to New York, I picked up these records, we went to this listening room, and it was just really fun. It was really fun, honestly. And like, I'm never going to have a system like that. But there's no reason why I can't pay $25 to go to a show and just like nerd out about this stuff. I could even bring records, So I figured, why not hear amazing, hi-fi systems if I can.
Massive horn speakers.
Exactly.
But here's the problem with going to audio shows. About 85% of the setups are they're streaming the music. They don't even have to.
That's okay. That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm just there just to kind of learn, because I got to say I have a huge blind spot when it comes to gear, vintage, modern. I mean, I really put all my energy into records and music and the music. So I think that's probably how I'll stay. But I feel like I had a great time.
Well, it's a rabbit. I don't think it's a rabbit hole you should be going down, because I hang out with Jim. So that's the difference between us. I'm all about the vinyl. He's about the audio equipment. even recently, he goes, "You need this subwoofer. Take this subwoofer." And I go, "I don't need this subwoofer. I don't need the people living around me to feel the floor thumping."
Well, I guess the thing is, I don't want to be dismissive of that aspect of collecting, and there might be things that I really enjoy about
Well,
it. So
here's, as a veteran, here's what you'll find very quickly. That's $22,000. They're literally the problem with audio. And I've talked to people. They ask me, "How do we get people to come here?" I go, your start at the show, literally, to even have a decent system, you're talking about $15,000 to $20,000. I mean, there's no start.
I know, but that's why I feel like if I go to the audio show, I'm not looking to acquire any of this. I just want to experience it because I get a lot of the cost is just based on, this is a skilled
product.
Yeah, but it's a skilled engineer and designer team, and for them to be able to do this, you need to give them a decent salary.
No, I'm not trashing them. I can honestly tell you, I'm wowed by some of the setups I see.
Yeah,
but to replicate something scalable to my situation, again, $15,000 to $20,000.
But you know what I'm kind of more interested in is the design aspect of the systems, like a beautiful, just a beautiful piece of gear. It's definitely an aspect that I can appreciate, and I can see how people get into that, like how you want to have a beautiful system, and if you're a rich dude, you can kind of make one. So
I'll tell you
anyway.
what,
Yeah.
If you can demo a pair of the Wilson speakers, that'll elevate you on another plane of existence.
All right, I want to get to Fred because I feel like he's been patiently waiting. We have the best guest here. Joe is so self-aware, and then Fred.
First of all, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you sound good.
Are you changing a diaper? Are you changing a diaper, Joe?
You're talking about me? No, I'm just
I'm
moving
not changing
some
a
records
diaper.
around.
Joe, that was an epic little record showing with the Zamrock. I'm gonna rewatch that.
I do have to hop off. It's good to see you, Fred. I didn't mean to get off right when you're talking, but it's good to see everybody.
I'll go change some diapers. Yeah.
I got a half hour. Take it easy, Joe. I got a half hour on me, Mike. So
all right, yeah, that sounds good.
I actually only have 5 minutes because I'm on the night shift at work, and I was listening, at my desk, and I'm just taking 5 minutes off from my desk here. So I've got no records to show, but I just wanted to hop on.
Can you
because
turn the camera around so we can see people having sex on the metro?
Wait, hold on. So we had a poll earlier. Did you vote? Did you vote in it?
Yeah, I like the quartet most.
The quartet, interesting.
Yeah, bass and drums and a piano and then some trumpet or saxophone. That sort of setup is the most thing I like the most. Yeah,
I feel like it's a full sound where you can have like a proper rhythm section with piano and then a solo instrument.
I have seen solo and duo performances live, which were great. But for home listening, I'm not really sure. But yeah,
it's interesting. I do like drumless trios too. Those are kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like the who does Jimmy Jufrey has those.
Yeah.
If you want the stereotypical late night music put on, it's like Red Garland Trio or Tommy Flanagan Trio. That's when a trio is its best: piano, drums, and bass. And
actually, last week I went to the opening night of the Ghent Jazz Festival here in Belgium, and I saw all sorts of setups actually. But it was a brilliant night. The first act was Brandy Younger, the harpist, with her with a bass player and a drummer, which was awesome. I really liked the harp instrument, which was really great. Micaiah McCraven was there with his band, which was a quartet, and then joined by Brandy Younger afterwards. It was really good. And the headliner was Herbie Hancock, which was just phenomenal. Yeah.
I'm seeing him in August, I think.
All right, let's take a look at this. So yeah, Herbie played Friday. So headline Friday. Philip Catherine Quartet.
Yeah, Philippe Catherine is like the age of, he's like 82 or something. He's a Belgian guitar player.
Guitar player,
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, he's great.
Played a
He's
lot with
fantastic.
Played a lot with Chet Baker.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So there's some other interesting nights with I think the last night is with Kamasi Washington as well.
Look, you got Brantford's out there. That's kind of
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it's a good festival. Yeah.
St. Vincent, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's not all strictly jazz, but like the last night is with Kamasi Washington,
Yeah.
Benjamin Clementine.
Cool. Is this still okay? I'll drop the
London
link if
and
anybody
Adrian.
wants to check it out.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good festival. Yeah. But Herbie
Yeah,
was amazing. Well, I was expecting last time I saw him was in 2002, I think. So it's a long time ago. And there he started with some of his classic Blue Note stuff and then went to the 70s. And then I think he finished off with Rocket or something, or I don't know. But now it was pure 70s jazz funk that he played, no compromise. He played 2 tracks from his Thrust album, one of which was Butterfly.
I saw him last year with the Headhunters. He did all that stuff.
Was that like the complete Headhunters album that he played in, or
they all played the I think there's only one that's passed away, right? So they all reunited, played the whole album. Then his current band combined with them, and they did the 2 songs from Thrust.
Oh,
and then,
cool.
Then the Headhunters left, and he played with his band. But they played more modern stuff, I think.
It was.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was a great show.
Yeah.
So
drummer, he's a great drummer, and I had a great band with him. A great guitar player. I don't remember the name, but it was a great band as well. Yeah.
So Rob, did you have more stuff to show, Rob?
Yeah, I have a lot.
Okay, now here's the thing.
Yeah.
Before, okay, so Rob, you started the show and you were showing stuff. You go by so quick. We need to really digest the album, find it interesting. Okay. And Fred, I know you know your jazz.
I want to show. Calm down.
So we're going to really depend on Fred to lead this conversation of every record from memory.
I said, I'm at work, so I only have a couple of minutes. I have to go back to my desk. Yeah.
Thanks for coming up. We haven't seen you in a while, so come.
Yeah, I've been traveling a bit and dealing with some mental health issues, and I thought, well, if you're dealing with mental health issues, why don't you go on a live stream with Rob? Maybe that's a good thing to.
Well, because it's a distraction. That's what I will say.
It is a distraction.
Yes, you're always welcome to just come and hang out, Fred.
Yeah, I will.
I do want to show 2 records that I would like to sell out on Discogs right now.
Good night. I'll be listening.
All right. Okay. Good seeing you. See you, Fred.
I want to show 2 records that I would like to sell out on Discogs tonight. The people watching, these are Cheap Heat records. You should go get them. They're killer. How good.
All right. Now, okay. I also have a stack of records to show, and then we'll get out of here. But now it's just, this is a duo, Rob and Mike, and this is going to be a highlight of tonight's stream. I can tell you right now. Here we go.
So this is a record I've seen people show. It's actually currently in print. It's on Delmark. So this is one of the records from their catalog you can get. It's Chris Wood's Modus Operandi, and this is a kick-ass record. It's from 70. This is an original, but even the originals are cheap. It's like,
all right, so I have it up here. Hold on. So I'm going to drop a link to it. I'm sorry, I should have pulled this up earlier, but we have a few. We have basically one pressing.
Yeah, no, the 2015. You can get that. You can order it from Delmark's website or whatever.
Okay, there's also the OG here. It's pretty cheap.
That's what I have.
Okay, so you got Greg Bubalinsky on trumpet, flugelhorn, Jimmy McNeely piano, Chris Woods flute soprano, Curtis Boyd drums, and then Roland Wilson bass.
Yeah, so this is, I kind of likened it to like 70s Jackie McLean stuff, or even late 60s. It just really is power jazz. It's really, he kicks ass. It's just a really good record. I highly recommend it. It's Cheap Heat. You will not be disappointed by this record. All right,
Awesome.
the next one. Did I do that slow enough?
Yes.
The next one is this Pete Yellen, Dance of Allegra.
Pete Yellen.
This is on mainstream. This, even though he's a reeds player, killer band. If you don't know Dom Romero, his better records are on Muse, and they're not cheap. Billy Hart, Stanley Clark, Kenny Barham, and Eddie Henderson. This is like one of those 70s Eddie Henderson records.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a lot like that. This is killer. If you do not have this, go get it. I mean, the cover sucks, but it's a white label promo.
All right, look at this. Look at this. We have one comment on the listing.
Yeah.
It says a marvelous fusion jazz album with a special touch, an incredible record, unusual sounds and compositions, great work, as strong as the best Nucleus or Perigio. Check the masterpiece bass line from Stanley Clark with a unique wah-wah sound. And then somebody replied saying, couldn't agree less. While it's a good album, it has nothing in common with Nucleus or Perigio.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I will say if you like those two Eddie Henderson Capricorn records, it's like that. It just really is very good. These are two cheap heat records that you will not be disappointed by.
All right, are you done, Rob? Are you finished?
No.
I'm
Just
kidding.
a couple more. So I found this at the record show in Orange County. This is our Lawrence is a very desirable record. Mike's internet connection went away. So I'll just talk until he comes back. So this is our Lawrence is on Prestige. Found a white label promo of it. Very desirable record. Spiritual jazz. I think I don't like saying people are undervalued or whatever like that. Go check up my knowledge of Azar Lawrence, who's alive today and still playing. I think he lives in LA. Is on a lot of those 70s milestone. What do you call it? McCoy Tyner records. So look at the lineup on this: Gene Karen, Woody Shaw, Clint Houston, Billy Hart. This Joe Bonner, Matumi, Julian Presser, Haley Hillman. This is just a kick-ass record. Very spiritual. Good. Again, this is a pricey one. I found it cheap. I want Mike's reaction. Where the hell did Mike go? I don't know where Mike is. Anyone comment on where Mike is? Where is Mike? Oh, here he comes. What happened?
I hit my USB thing and it shut off my camera.
Okay.
and
I only have a couple more to show and then I'll
Okay.
stop going fast. So this record, I did not know anything about. This is a Sonny Stitt record called Tornado.
I've never seen that.
It's come out in the same year with two different covers. The other cover's with him on the cover, his picture. But this is from a kind of short-lived Detroit label called Jazz Masters Inc. And the cool thing about this record is a lot of the musicians on here are either tribe musicians or Strata, not Strata East, Strata Records.
Wow.
From Detroit. Here's a lineup of everyone who plays on this. It's a funky, it's a funky, soulful record that kicks ass, and I think it mainly is this it's this Eddie Ross guy.
Okay.
Playing electric piano. But I since I showed this, people have been showing that they have this, I think. But it's a real, if you see it, not a crazy expensive record. I just don't think people know about this.
It's got a great cover.
It's really good. You know this one, this Charles McPherson record?
No,
From
I
this
don't.
moment on. It's not one of his best, but it's Pat Martino, Cedar Walton. It's really, it's a good record.
Is that like a party record?
No, it's not even a party record.
No.
Just a standard kind of jazz record.
Is there a piano? Is it piano or organ on it?
Yeah, it is Cedar Walton. Come on,
Oh.
man.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I found an OG copy of this.
Wow. You
Sonny
buried
Chris.
the lead. That's a pretty expensive record. Oh,
No,
it's on
it's not,
Imperial.
it's not an expensive record, actually. I have a Japanese pressing of this. It's a good record. It's early. It's mid, probably 50 something. But it's a good record if you can find this.
Yeah. I thought that was expensive.
Yeah.
Cool. Is that it?
And then last, I'll show this Andrew Hill record. It's a solo record on Soul Note.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
All right. I'm going to jump in. I'll just show a few records and see what Rob thinks about them.
Okay.
All right. So, number one, I didn't show this one yet, but Rob, you showed a reissue you recently got. This is the 10-inch Lee Konitz at Harvard Square.
Actually, I found a copy of that.
Yeah, I know. I saw your.
Yeah.
What a cool record. Yeah.
That's the 10-inch. That's the 10-inch.
It's the 10-inch. It's on Storyville. So
Yeah.
it's Storyville. And it was recorded in 54 and 55. So it's 2 tracks in Boston. So Storyville is a club in Cambridge. And it's done by George Wein, who had Storyville, and then he also did the Newport Jazz Festival. So he's kind of a legend producer. And the cover image is Burt Goldblatt, so it's got a great cover with a nice glossy finish. And it's Konitz in his post-Tristano mode. So this is basically when he's starting to break out of that mold.
It actually, the music sounds more advanced for the time it was recorded.
It does. That's why I keep like harping like this like Tristano school of students that came through.
Yeah.
Like the birth of the cool stuff. Like it's all like I don't know.
What year is it? Is it 54?
It's 50. So the side A is 54 and side B is 55. The only difference is the drummer.
It sounds like it was recorded like in maybe 8 years later. I mean, the quality, the kind of music they were playing.
Yeah. And Ronnie Ball plays piano, and I have a Ronnie Ball record on Savoy that is way underrated. It is a killer record. I was thinking of selling it, and I was like, let me give it a listen first. And I was like, no way I'm selling this record. It's so good. So anyway, so I got this Lee Konitz. This is one to keep an eye out for. I picked this up, and this is a weird story. I'm not going to go into it in too much detail, but this is on Progressive. It's Progressive's first record that they put out in 1952.
That's how old that label is?
Yeah. So 52 was put out, 51 recording, and it's the George Wallington Trio with Curly Russell and Max Roach, who at the same time was playing in the Bud Powell Trio. And Wallington sounds like, in the Powell school. I mean, he has his own style, but he has his own voice, but it's in that kind of that style of Bud Powell, early 50s Bud Powell. And Wallington's great. This is a great record. So so that's the cover there. It's a Burt Goldblatt cover again. This is produced by Gus Grant. Gus Grant was the original owner of Progressive. Then they sold to Savoy. And then I think they started putting records out again in the 80s or maybe the 70s.
No, earlier than that.
And there's some good records on there.
The Mal Waldron
record.
So, but a lot of them were issued in Japan under Progressive.
Yeah, and they kept the original label, so that's the original Progressive label there.
Yes,
and
it's red. It's red, not blue.
It's red. Okay, and I have another early Progressive too that I really like. So there's a couple cool titles that I wanted to get, and this was one of them. So
who's the other two people in it?
Curly Russell and Max Roach, who are playing in the Bud Powell Trio. So, and this was recorded in New York City, but this is pre Van Gelder. This is recorded in 51. And yeah, it's great. It's a bebop trio. And it's Progressive Records, PLP 3001, their first record. But got a copy of that. Really happy. Got it for a great price. This is like a $300 record. So
It is?
Yeah. I did not pay anywhere near that. So the next one.
Did the person know what they were selling?
Yes, because they said that it played with consistent noise, which it does. So there's that. So it's not a perfectly clean copy, but I got it from Banana Records, and they certainly know what they're doing. So, and honestly, it was in and out of my cart for like 3 or 4 months. So it wasn't like, it was available. All right. I do have one other 10-inch, but I want to switch to this. This is a 12-inch Michel Her Trio Overture Eclair, and it's just a killer trio. This basically somebody put a needle drop on YouTube, and it came up in my feed randomly, and I just clicked it and listened to it, and it's just a stunning trio session. Really, just incredibly good. And it's so the players are Michael Herr on piano. He was in a lot of other stuff. He was a pretty successful musician. Freddie Durande on bass, and then Felix Simtain on drums. It was recorded at Michel Dickersheed studio in Belgium and released in 1978. It was recorded in 77. And it's got like the thing that's probably closest stylistically for reference is like Chick Corea. So it's like a Chick Corea record. But it's so good. So I got that. Really nice condition. 2 more. Rob sent me this for a very fair price, way undervalued. So thank you, Rob, for this. This is the Michael White, The Land of Spirit and Light. And it's such a different record than anything I have. My favorite track on it is the Fiesta track. It's really good. So you got like Cecil McBee. There's like a ton of players on it. Prince Lachey, Ed Kelly, Bob King, Cecil McBee, Kenneth Nash. Yeah, and it's a classic record. So any response from my partner up here?
No, I have that record. It's an excellent record. In fact, I think there's 5 records on Impulse with Michael White. I have 4 of them.
Okay.
They're all excellent. Spiritual jazz. Avant-garde.
But I wouldn't even call it that. Like, this is so different. Like, that Fiesta track sounds like just, I wouldn't call it free jazz at all. I mean, it sounds like it's like a, I don't know, like a celebratory. I mean, they're shouting, they're yelling. It's really well done. And the violin is done extremely well too. So, I mean, people know about this record. I was holding out for an original.
Vinyl Me Please reissued it like 2 years ago, right?
But this, like a clean copy of this is like what, $120, $150?
Wait, I didn't charge you that?
Yeah, right. Thank you, by the way. That was super nice. I'm really happy to have this. Yes, vinyl and Kicks 86. The Michael White LP is great, and it should be in print. And then the final one I'll get is
vinyl. You could still get like the Vinyl Me Please reissue. I think it's dropped down in price.
No, it's like $150.
That one's $150.
Yes, it's more expensive
Wow.
than the original pressing.
Wow.
Yeah, it goes for good money. So the last thing I'll show is this came up, I think, for $12. So it's a 10-inch on Roost, and for $12, I figured I'd get it. It's got Al Haig on piano, who I really like. But it's Stan Getz at Storyville. So again, George Weems' Storyville. We saw in that not progressive. What was it? The Lee Konitz. This is another recording at his Storyville Club, recorded for radio. So a lot of the Storyville recordings were put on radio. Roost picked up this Stan Getz one and put it out in 2 10-inch LPs and I think a 12-inch LP later on. But it has another Burt Goldblatt cover. So cool cover. And yeah, it's got Al Haig on it, who I'm a huge Al Haig fan. So anything with him, I'm down with. But the sound on this is okay. I think it's a live set. So live set from the mid to early 50s. It's going to be going to be challenging in some ways, but very clean for $12. I was super happy to get this. So that's it. So what else, Rob? Before we close it out, any final words?
I have an auction tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
If you have no money, just come and watch.
Yeah.
If you don't care, it'll be fun.
But yeah, and I also dropped a link to my Substack in the description if you want to check that out. I'm going to write. So I was recently on the radio with Jay Cohn and Sugar Steve from JMI Recordings, who they have a radio broadcast on the Columbia University radio station, WKCR. So they invited me, and I have the recording of it. So I think I'm going to do a Substack where I go through kind of what we listened to and just have it there for people to listen to. So look out for that. But yeah, other than that, have a nice weekend. See y'all later. Thanks, everybody.